Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another Breakfast with Blaha. And today, having steak, brown rice, and vegetables in Breakfast of Champions. And it offends pretty much every diet zealot, right? Think about it for a minute. We got a lean red meat, so it's actually really low in saturated fat, which will offend the keto people, right? They already get upset. Oh, you're not eating much saturated fat. They already get upset. Get the vegans, the vegetarians. Brown rice will upset flexible dieters because you're not supposed to eat that. You only can eat refined carbs in their religion. Again, keto people hate it. Paleo people hate it. Then we got vegetables in there. The carnivores hate it. Right? Got to make sure we get everybody. It's important when you pick your meals that you go out of your way to upset all the diet zealots. And we'll even get the bros because it's steak instead of chicken. All right. So now that I've made everybody hate me yet again, talk a little bit about training and rep ranges. This comes up a lot because I see people in my comments, and it's kind of funny. It's like, you don't really follow my channel. You sure don't follow my training or my client vlogs. Because I've had a lot of them say, oh yeah, I mean, lifting, heavy and to build muscle, you should be working all in the, 5 to 8 rep range. And I see a lot of that. And I'm like, that's not what I promote. I don't even think that's the best way to get big and strong. Right? Beats you up. And they're always, they wanting to keep everything refined to 1 rep range. But what do I do? Pretty obvious what I do, because it's pretty consistent. Have I deviated from this a little? Do I deviate from this maybe 2 months out of the year? Out of the 12 months, yeah. Outside of that, the vast majority of time is what I follow. It's almost exclusively what you guys see my clients do who have their own blogs or who I put up blogs on my channel. We do heavy work or speed work, followed by tens. Pump work at tens. It doesn't have to be exactly 10. I like tens. It's a nice round number. All right, the lovers of the metric system will love that. They'll love that. But I like tens because it's a good compromise. It's a good compromise rep range between metabolic fatigue and mechanical tension. Makes it really balanced for people. People used to call the 8 to 12 the hypertrophy rep range for a reason. Not, well, because they thought it was best, but in reality it's not better because 3s and 20s in multiple studies have been found to cause similar levels of hypertrophy. Particularly we start matching volumes and things. Yeah, absolutely. But on a volume for volume basis, 10s beats you up less. Like you don't feel as beat up the next day. That matters for recovery. It's easy to recover from. Number 2, it doesn't create the deeper psychological fatigue that really high reps do, which also beats you up. So there's again some other potential issues there on recovery, and they just take longer. Now for conditioning, people say, well, how do you get conditioned then? Well, you don't need to get conditioned completely off your weights. Tens and stuff can help with that, but go do GPP. So you see me promote, right? I do GPP. I've shown you guys on camera I do GPP. We do conditioning work, strength-based conditioning work. But we need to train all these components, don't we? Like I don't like this idea of one training modality. I don't even do that in a single week. So again, it tends to be around 10s for all the supplemental hypertrophy volume that we use to get big, including possibly back off sets on the main list. Now, have you guys seen me do phases of 3s and 5s? Yes. Have you seen me do phases of 20s? Yes. When I hit that 605 camber bar squat bulking a year ago, I was doing sets of 20 on back off work on squats, right? But generally it's around 10. And I like the balance of it. And when we start talking power building, that term, people want to use that, which I just call good training. It's not a bunch of 6s and 8s. It's heavy or explosive followed by a little bit higher reps, 10s. Okay. So what does that translate to? Well, it depends on the two training modalities you see me run there, either conjugate or 5-3-1-ish. We'll call it that because it's not really 5-3-1, is it? Similar, same principles. My own spin on the system, using the same basic good programming, because I think the base programming is good. Actually, I think the whole system's pretty good, to be fair. You can't knock it. It's a proven system, very proven, and there are elite lifters who run it. But what are we doing? Conjugate, we're hitting maxes, training maxes, or true maxes, a couple times a week, or we're doing explosive dynamic work first, and then you're doing the volume. It's not just coming in and doing a 5x5, going home. That works for noobs. That's good noob training. It's not going to work as well as an advanced lifter. 5x5 sets across as a primary training modality. I wish you good luck. You can do it for phases. You can't do it year round. It's not going to be ideal. All right, so it's that system or 5-3-1-ish. And you have your own spin on it. You're building up to a heavy 1 to 5 rep set. And it will be heavy because you're building to one good set or even up to one good single. And you do that, and then you're doing back off work to get thick. But this works better. And in fact, doing the heavy work before you do a bunch of 10s, in theory, should attenuate the upper threshold muscle fibers better. It's going to give you a better training response. Okay? It's going to give you an overall better training response. And you get strong and big concurrently instead of rotating them into phases. Now, and again, I'm not saying someone couldn't do either of those systems and then do phases of 5x5 for their back off work. You can. Just be aware it's going to beat you up, and it may not get you any bigger. But I still like to do it sometimes. I like to do it just for the mechanical tension and lifting heavier. I do it in phases. I program it in phases. It works. But still, most of the time, we're still doing the 10s. And then on top of that, you do conditioning, maybe do plyometrics. If you're not doing a speed work rotation because you're not running conjugate, what do we have then? Plyometrics. And I like those too, because I think everyone should be training this. This is basically what I'm saying. If you want to be balanced, big, and strong, I think that you need truly heavy work. I think you need explosive work, which could be dynamic stuff, or it could be plyos. I think you need training volume with metabolic fatigue. Again, 10s, 12s. And I think you need some conditioning. If we want to be big and strong and athletic. And shouldn't that be the goal? I would hope so. That's what we should strive for. I'm not saying we're always going to reach it ideally, but we should strive towards it. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.